Stupid Garbage Podcast.
Oh, I like that. Hello.
Welcome to SGP, dear readers. I'm Robert. This is Jess.
Why do you sound so exhausted?
Because we just recorded a 45-minute episode that we ended by you saying, this is garbage, we have to start over.
Okay, the title of the podcast is garbage, so that doesn't really mean anything to me.
I know, so why do we have to stop?
Because it was not garbage, it was offensive, insensitive, and problematic.
I'm gonna lie down.
I stand by everything that I said, but I also...
lie down over here. I'm gonna be way over here.
Do you not want to record this?
No. My audio's just gonna be a little... It'll be
Sweetheart,
fine.
let's not start.
No, it's fine.
All
We're
right.
doing... No, stop.
No.
No, come over here.
Let's
No,
not...
come on my couch.
Let's not waste...
No, we're not wasting. I'm just... You consider that maybe I'm doing a bit,
Oh.
and that you literally just ruined it entirely before I could even get it off the ground. We're talking Cats, the movie, apparently. Aren't we? This is why you said we had to stop the last one?
Do you want to restart?
No, I didn't want to restart the last one. So, we're talking Cats, the movie. You wanted to do a review, not a summary.
No, summaries?
I think you'll find, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I think you'll find that if you do a review, you're going to, one of two things is going to happen.
Okay.
Holding up two fingers, dear readers. Either you're going to run out of things to say in 90 seconds, or you're going to, within second 91, 92, 93, you're going to just realize that you're summarizing the movie.
Okay.
But...
So what are you suggesting?
The eternal question. I'm suggesting you go off for a little bit, get your finger out your nose. I'm suggesting that you don't put... disgusting. I'm suggesting that you start, let's see what momentum you can build, before you barrel into this being a review. Is Peach still asleep on the couch?
He is maybe dead.
He's not.
He's been out of his cage and on the couch sleeping for a very long time.
It's like 2 hours.
I just hope he's okay.
He's fine.
Peach's update, he's fine.
Thanks for tuning in, dear listeners. All Peaches
And
all
we're
the time.
sorry. Okay, so you want me to just start summarizing
Cats, the movie, came out 4 months ago now.
So I'm going to give you a little bit of backstory before we actually go into the
Sure.
review of Cats. Robert and I have seen Cats maybe 5 times.
3.
3, that's it?
Precisely 3.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. So, the first time we decided we were going to be a little bit inebriated. And only Robert
Just
wanted
me.
to be... Okay, because I had to drive home, that's true. So, Robert was inebriated, I was completely sober, and Robert loved it.
I wasn't drunk. I was high. I would say problematically high.
Okay.
I'll say...
Oh man, you started laughing so hard at a couple scenes that you had to look at me and be like, am I laughing too hard? Am I disturbing the whole... Luckily there were only 6 other people in the theater who were also... There was a group of teenage boys who were
drunk.
Super drunk, and they were actively drinking vodka in the movie theater. And then there was an older couple that I think was just there to do something.
Who knows?
Anyway.
It's not ours to
So
question
you
why,
enjoyed it though.
Well, so I got problematically high. It's difficult to know how high I was because I got high and I started feeling it just as we were walking. I took an edible and I started feeling it just as we were walking into the theater, and probably a few minutes even into the previews. So I started feeling it as the lights went down and all that, and then the movie started. And I spent an hour and 50 minutes laughing so hard, I was pretty sure I was going to die. Even now, looking back at it with the hindsight of sobriety and months removed from... I'm still surprised nothing happened to me from just a physiological standpoint. I'm surprised that I didn't have any health... I didn't pull a hamstring or something, because
I think the movie changed you forever.
Yeah, a number of times I remember distinctly. I oftentimes I don't get high often, maybe like 3 times a year or so.
Okay.
But
I'm saying that as though I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Right. Wow.
You know we live together, right? Hi, I'm Robert.
Pleasure. Just a pleasure.
Just say your name.
Oh, I'm Jessica?
There you go. Have
Jess
you never
for short?
met someone before? Jessica's not good. Jessica's no good. So anyway,
Rob thinks I'm not from planet Earth.
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I don't get high often, but sometimes I'll get high and just do vague, uninteresting, forgetful things, like watch cartoons or some stupid minutia.
You burn cookies a lot. That's my favorite.
Once.
You just no, but you have burned many different types of cookies.
No. I have no.
Mm-hmm.
Once one time.
Nope.
Once one time.
That you remember.
No, well, okay. So this, first of all, this is ha ha ha, very sneaky. My point was that I often forget things when I get high. I do things and forget.
When you are high, I usually am not high because I do not enjoy being high.
Sure.
So I feel like.
But you have a Swiss cheese brain with memory that just falls right out of it. Mm-hmm. So.
Moving on.
Fine. When I get high, that one time we got high, we played chess and I played blindfolded.
Sure.
And I kicked the crap out of you.
Sure.
So I'm saying when I'm high, you and I have similar mental faculties.
Fuck you.
But my point.
That is unkind.
My point,
sir.
I'm just talking about memory specifically.
Okay.
But my point was that when I get high, as is often the case, I'm not unique in this. I will forget things.
Sure.
Things smudge together.
What's your point?
My point is that I remember Cats with such. After the first viewing of it, I remembered it with such crystal clarity that I must have gotten so high that I came all the way back around.
It was a religious experience to watch.
I was gonna say, I think I found Nirvana in that movie.
You said, you were like, I understand your brain now, because this chaotic disaster that made no sense to any human being felt like you were living inside of my brain.
Right. Oftentimes, you'll watch a movie, usually a bad movie, and you'll think, this makes no sense. Mm-hmm. The movie I'm watching is bad. This is gobbledygook. This plot is all over the place. These characters don't. This movie, this show makes no sense. Watching Cats, I felt as though the reality I was existing in made no sense because this movie was real. The movie, irrespective of the movie being bad, that the movie existed in the form that it did made me question. I mean, I thought I was so high that I was imagining the whole thing. I thought that I was hallucinating the entire movie. I thought Jess and I are still in the car. Yeah, I thought Jess and I are still in the car. Something is wrong. This has never happened before when I've taken edible, THC edibles. This is not supposed to be like psychedelic.
Yeah.
But it was problematic. I remember a couple times. This is my point, that I remember many details about it because they burned into my memory. And I remember a number of times laughing so hard and turning to Jess and saying, I can't do this. I cannot handle this.
Yeah, you couldn't catch your breath.
The first time that happened, I think, was about 90 seconds into the movie. Mm-hmm. It was about a minute.
There was a big gap, I think. Like an hour in, I think you had another problem. But I know, but I'm saying just
the first. That happened more than once.
Yeah.
I think it happened 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, it did.
The first time, I think, was as soon. It started as soon as the movie began because, we'd all seen the trailers of this Cats movie. And if you haven't, don't watch the movie, I would say. But at least go look at the trailer so you understand the concept of it, of what we're looking at and talking about. But knowing what was about to happen, I started laughing. And then you see the first cat 15 seconds into the movie. Hopefully it's cats. You hope the cats are there. And then I started laughing so hard that I couldn't breathe. And then after about 60 seconds of straight hysterical laughter, I started thinking, this is how I die. I can't. This movie's 2 hours. I looked it up and Google said it was exactly 2 hours. It seems longer.
Wow.
It does seem like it's long. But so I thought I'm roughly 60 seconds into this. I'm already having trouble remaining conscious. I have to do this another 119 times. I can't do this.
So then the second time we saw it, I was drunk. Mm-hmm. You were sober?
Correct.
And then...
Because you, if you recall, we left Cats. I said this was the best night of my life. And you said, I didn't enjoy that.
Yes.
Not only do I not think it was as good as you think it was, I didn't enjoy that at all.
Yeah.
You were upset.
So
and
then...
I said, you need to see this high or drunk or something.
Because I've seen it both high and drunk.
You have?
Yes. Because I did an edible the second time. Oh, no. Maybe I wasn't drunk. I just was high. You were drunk. So then, okay. So time 1, Robert was high, I was sober. Time 2, I was high, Robert was sober.
The script.
Time 3, we were both sober.
Yep.
Okay, so then time 2, I swear to God, again, like when I get high too, I also forget things and I can't pay attention and I just lose all sense of time and everything.
Sure, as most people.
This fucking Cats movie, man, like let me tell you, I felt like I was like noticing so many more details the second time I saw it, and I was like almost hyper focused on this movie because I was like so, I don't even know what the right word is about it. Like I was just captivated.
Hypnotized. Entranced.
Yeah, I was entranced with this movie. It seemed to go a lot faster than I remember. I was like, oh yeah, like it flew by. And I wasn't surprised. Like nothing caught me off guard because I'd already seen it sober. But so many realizations and so many just little details that I had missed the first time around just came to me. And I think I was whispering to you every single thing I noticed the entire time.
Yeah, no, you were.
So then,
you were
very quiet. More context for you. Time 1, we saw it. Between time 1 and 2, they announced that the editing was so garbage that they were going to re-release the movie. Yeah. So we were like, oh, great, we have to see it again. So we saw it the second time, but little did we know that it was not re-released yet. So we just watched the exact same movie a second time.
Yep.
So that was that experience when I got high. The third time, and I wasn't super high. Like, I wasn't like you. I was feeling fine.
Yeah.
And then the third time, we were both sober. It was the re-release. We noticed, like, 3 changes. Like, it was not...
Wasn't worth it.
Good. Yeah. So... And the movie, it still moved a lot quicker. Like, I think the first time it was so fucking slow. But then the third time I was like, okay, this is, like, I know the formula. I can do this. And we got through it. Anyway, do you want to go into the actual review? Do you want to summarize?
Well, I'll talk about the second experience. As we were going into it, you said, like, right before you got high, you said, I'm letting you know, you said to me, I'm letting you know as someone who's already seen it sober, this isn't going to be, like, you think this was really fun because you were high. That's why you think this was funny and interesting. And I said, no, I think being sober, it will be different, but just as absurd, just as conceptually bizarre. Just the reality of this existing, I think will make me laugh just as much. I was right. This motherfucking movie. And then the third time, again.
I was excited to watch it by the third time.
This fucking movie is just... because we saw it in theaters 3 times in the span of like a week and a half.
Yeah.
So I can't speak to seeing it on a computer or like a TV. Like I can't speak to a home theater experience.
And we did see it with other human beings that we did not know. Yeah.
Right. So I can't speak to like sitting in your living room by yourself watching it on your TV as opposed to like the big, because there's additional kind of grandiosity with it being like, if you saw this
on the big screen,
if someone showed you this on their phone, you'd say like, this is stupid,
weird, turn it off.
Where did this gif come from?
What
is this idiocy? That you're sitting in a theater that, you know, shows Robert De Niro movies and the Avengers, and there's an 80-foot screen and you're staring at this in like surround
multi-million-dollar movies.
There's just the scale of it is just so preposterous that it
to be fair, it was not in theaters long.
Longer than you might think. It was like, I think it was like 6 weeks. 6 or 8 weeks. It was a long.
I thought they took it just
certainly long enough to have seen it. So there's.
Oh my god.
So
let's get into it.
Okay, we can get into it. So the reviews of the movie. I would recommend seeing it just so it's hard to put a number to it. It's hard to, because objectively speaking, it's a horrible movie. It's terrible. It's really, really awful. Just fucking terrible. It's horrible. It's trash. The acting was bad.
Okay.
The plot was non-existent.
There was no plot whatsoever.
Accidentally.
Oh God!
We can't
the more
even
we talk about it, the more I'm like thinking
slide.
about the fucking movie.
Right. We can't even accidentally slide from a review into a plot summary because there's no plot to summarize. We can't summarize this. So it doesn't matter.
We can. I can give you like literally a 2-sentence summary, and that's all you get.
So this movie was horrible. There's no story. The acting was, in some places, fine, but in other places, quite bad.
The editing was horrendous.
Yeah, the special effects were bad. The choreography was inconsistent. Weird. Yeah, and then
the singing wasn't, again, unless you are Jennifer Hudson, you have no place being in this movie.
Or Jason Derulo. So the problem with this is that there were a lot of big, like Jason Derulo and Jennifer Hudson are established. Taylor Swift was in this movie.
Yes.
Right? There were huge musical names, and then also big name actors like Ian McKellen. Judi Dench was a fucking cat named Old Deuteronomy.
James Corden.
I think so.
Oh, sorry.
I think Corbin's a different person, but Idris Elba was in this movie. He was like the main villain.
Yep.
And it's I've
Rebel
said
Wilson?
Idris Elba should have
a lot of big names.
Idris Elba was, I think, when this came out, the reigning People Magazine sexiest man alive. He should have it rescinded. He should have to give it back like OJ with his Heisman.
He earned that title, but what they did atrocious things to him.
It was. But I mean, it's against the Geneva Convention.
The way that
this movie being made.
The way that the movies are made, though, like I don't know how much the actors knew. Like the special effects people are probably like. From what I know of that industry, people were probably just like, okay, we'll fix it in post.
Okay, but I
don't know how involved the actors were in that.
You are right in saying, look, the actors can't have known that these effects were going to look like this and be this bad.
Exactly.
But they must have gotten into like these motion capture leotards and signed. No, I think some of them had contact lenses in, like to have like green eyes or whatever, or yellow eyes. They must have known that they were going to be made into some form of CGI cat person, because their faces were uncovered, that they were going to be in this movie that, seeing the script, is a terrible story. But they knew this concept of Cats the Musical, so they could have seen what was going to happen.
Yeah, and they read the script, they know.
And on top of that, with Jennifer Hudson, you could say, okay, she does like the Broadway singing thing. She was in that Sing movie, that it was like a cartoon.
Oh, with all the animals?
Yeah. So that I get. And Jason Derulo's singing and dancing is his thing. I get.
And I really liked his performance.
Fine. Idris Elba can't sing.
It was weird.
Idris Elba can't dance. I don't know what he was trying to prove by being in this fucking movie. Even if they had done a good job with this movie, he wouldn't have fit in. He can't sing or dance.
Well, he was.
And it's a musical.
He didn't try to.
I think he did. Well, what do you mean he didn't try to? He was in Cats. He had a song. He was the villain. He had like a song and a half.
But Taylor Swift sang his song.
Taylor Swift sang a different song. He also sang. Oh. Okay, but that's the point. If he's not singing or dancing, which he was, but even if he wasn't, why is he in this fucking movie then? Why would he be here? Decision. So here's a couple of notes. We're kind of all over the place, but Jesus Christ. So Taylor Swift was in this movie, and she sang like her own song, basically. Yep. Fucking terrible. Like it sounded like a kindergarten chorus. Like her inability to hold a note and stay in key. Macavity, macav. It's like 5-year-olds singing like a school song.
I also have a problem.
Welcome to our school, we love to learn. Like it was that level bad.
I think
it was terrible.
Additionally, I had a huge problem with her trying to be the sexy character, because again, not at her. Stop it! You've been talking so much. Don't cut me off.
I agree. I would say save that, because the sexuality of this movie in general is gonna be. Why don't we go down?
My one quick mention of her then would just be like her playing a villainess, like a sex object, like femme fatale, that's not who Taylor Swift is, and she kind of portrays herself like that because she gets victimized a lot, so she like is reclaiming the victim thing, and she's like, I'll make fun of myself. To
defending Taylor Swift.
No, I'm not.
Taylor all the time.
I'm not defending her. I'm just saying that it was a weird choice to cast her as a femme fatale. I didn't like it. I didn't believe it. It was weird to me. And again, like a femme fatale, this isn't Taylor's fault, but like they made her, they were like, oh, like, why don't you lay on this moon in a sexy position? And she just laid there and didn't move. Like, that's not what sexiness, like, you don't just hold a pose and that's sex appeal. Like, that's not. And additionally, they made her like an orange tabby cat. Like, that's not, it just was like a weird.
Notoriously the least sexy type of cat.
I'm not attracted to orange fur at all. Like, I don't know.
Okay, we're gonna very slowly back away from
We can go to the sex situation in Cats if you want, or we could just circle back there later because I have a lot more to say.
Well, there's a lot to say, but why don't we address the musicality
Jennifer Hudson
of the movie a little bit?
Did a great job. She had the song to Cats. I understand why Jennifer. Yes. And like they zoomed
that was
right.
Jennifer Hudson, by the way.
That was a real clip from the movie. I think she did a really good job. She was very emotive, and I enjoyed it. Sure. I thought it was good. I downloaded straight up like some of Jason Derulo's songs. Yeah, like his song, what he can do with his voice with all the, I don't even know what they're called, but like
runs.
Amazing, like so good. He was so good. And it's funny because like you were talking about their outfits or whatever.
That
was
Jason Derulo, by the way. That's good.
I don't even remember his.
He was the Rum Tum Tugger.
Oh, I know, but
the Rum Tum Tugger is a curious cat. Although that was him. Never mind. I was gonna say they were just singing about him, but he also did sing. We saw this movie 3 times.
Another musical number that I thought was just absolute bullshit, and he was the magical cat. Was my absolute favorite character.
Magical Mr. Mistopheles.
I think he was adorable. Like,
cat.
Not that I was also sexualizing the cats, but they wanted us to sexualize them, and I was like, beneath all of that cat makeup, I feel like this man would be cute, and I think I was right. But anyway, I was like, okay, like he's like a cool. We've done this already.
Oh, we have.
Yeah,
what did you say?
I was like,
disappointed.
yeah. But no, I was just like, okay, this is like whatever. And I just liked him as a character. Like, he seemed like a sweet little noob. And he was, I don't know, except for
Gamer Talk.
Again.
2007. Halo 3.
Except for the weird sexual tension that they put in with him and the main character, which was weird and a little assaulty. Yeah.
Well, look.
She was just assaulted all over the place.
Again, the sexuality of this movie.
So, basically, his song was just the same line, and you said, in the middle of the movie, you were like, how many times do you think they say this line? And I was like, at least 15 or 20 or something.
Yeah, I think it was 14.
Yeah, I was like, at least 15, and you were like, absolutely not, like maybe 5 or something. Like, you guessed a really lowball number, and we fucking counted it, and they just repeat for 3, like, it's a 3-minute song, and they repeat the same 3 lines 14 times.
Oh, boy. So the musicality of this movie, again, there are a lot of layers to this movie. This is why I think it's either a mistake or a boon to our genius. It will either be our undoing or our success to start with Cats, because I don't know that I've ever seen a movie as complicated as Cats. Mm-hmm. So it might be that we can talk for an hour about Cats, but any other movie we've seen the past year, we got 8 minutes, right? Or this might be just a huge mistake to even go down this rabbit hole. This is the sort of thing...
It's hard. I also don't like to be super negative especially like a podcast format. Amazing.
Okay. Let me just say, this is not...
Like, if something is being aired, I wouldn't necessarily be like, oh, let me say who I find attractive and who I think did a piece of shit job. But also, like, Cats is just... I have so many opinions on them, and so many people made so many bad decisions that it's impossible to not bring that in. Yeah. Are you drinking wine right now?
No.
Okay.
What do you think I'm drinking wine?
Mm-hmm. Anyway.
What does it sound like I'm drinking wine?
Picking wine bottles up off the floor.
Why are there wine bottles on our floor, Jessica?
Anyway.
We live in a warehouse.
Cats.
So God damn. So my contention, my point of contention with Cats was that I didn't understand why, like
we need
Jennifer
to start
Hudson,
at the beginning, frankly. Besides the musical, like we need.
I don't think because again, that's like a plot summary. It's not a review.
Well, no, like the most basic errors, like the fact that they brought up we're Jellicle cats, and then they did not mention what the fuck a Jellicle cat was.
I don't want to talk about Jellicle cats.
That's what I'm saying. Like they made so many humongous mistakes immediately. Like they're like, oh, they'll pick it up. They never go into it. The scene at the way end where they're like, one special cat gets to get reincarnated. They did not fucking explain. Like you at the end, you were like, they're gonna murder Jennifer Hudson.
They did murder Jennifer Hudson.
Exactly. Like they were
alert,
so unclear about like.
Again, this is talking about the plot, not a review of the movie. But
it's still a review of the movie. It's still saying what the fuck. And also, they should have gone into the fact like they should have shown her be reincarnated, so at least we were like, okay, this was for real, and it didn't happen. It's not.
It is.
No.
So.
I'm not saying the movie opens and this is what happens, and then after that this happens.
So anyway,
no, but that's not
one or the other. The my biggest point of contention was that for the actors, because I think this movie, every single level was insane. Like the acting, the music, the dancing, the marketing campaign, all of it, the CGI. I feel as though if you had, like you see videos of people watching early movies, like you see that whatever the movie was called, like a movie of a train or film of whatever, where people were in a theater and they saw the train coming towards them like on the screen and they ran out of their seats because they thought a train was going to hit them. In like 1893 or whatever it was. If you had shown this to someone at the turn of the 20th century, like 1901, they would have jumped off the roof of the tallest building in whatever city they were in. They would have walked into the ocean and never been seen again. Yeah. This is maddening. This is the most hubristic thing. This is humanity's Icarus. I mean, we flew into the sun. We slapped the sun's ass.
I don't even know if that's how I would even.
This was man's hubris thinking we can do no wrong. Let's make Cats a movie. Yeah. And this is what we get. This is what we have brought. This is what we deserve.
We're in a culture of like a lot of resurgence of a lot of classic pieces of art. Like they're remaking a lot of stuff.
Sure.
And doing reboots and stuff. And like the whole millennial culture, I think, is really nostalgia based. So I think they're trying to just spin off that.
Sure.
But what the fuck? What the fuck? Like, first of all, who has it? Like, it's weird because I have met a surprising amount of people who we've spoken to about this movie who have liked the musical.
Yeah.
Which shocks me.
The theater version.
Yes. I have not seen the theater version of the musical, but we looked up the summary after we saw the movie, and it was seemingly very similar to the movie. Like, it was this absurd, plotless thing, but I think the people who saw it said it made sense. Like, they were like, now looking back, I can see how that wasn't fully formed, but it didn't really occur to me at the time. Like, I think that it's just skated away.
I think it might be one of those things where it's popular, so no one really speaks out against it and says they get drowned out.
I wonder if it's like a Rocky Horror situation where it's just like a cult, like, you know, a couple people liked it, and now it's like a huge fat. But like, other ones, like, we were talking about, like, Hamilton, which, again, I have not seen, but it sounds like it is good, and it has merit. George like, it deserves the praise that it's getting.
Benjamin Franklin. I don't think
it's not helpful at all.
You're right. It's not. Nor is it accurate, because I don't even think Benjamin Franklin's in the musical. But Hamilton, you're right. But the Cats thing, I like the theater version. It's like the longest running, most successful, whatever, Broadway play of all time or musical. But how many people see, even that, how many people see Broadway musicals? I don't know how. But anyway,
like, what's the demographic must be old, rich, white.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's not the demographic that sees movies super regularly.
I don't know.
My grandmother sees movies very regularly, but...
Well, right, but I don't think just old, rich, white people see movies. I think everyone sees movies.
Exactly, so it's a weird... No,
I don't know. I think other groups of people go to the theater.
Yeah, maybe that was...
We'll edit that out in post. Jessica's a little racist, but it's fine. Listen, it's fine. It's fine. The Cats has you worked up. You can't be held accountable for things you said in the wake of the Cats fiasco. Catastrophe. You called this a podcat. Fuck you.
That was not intentional.
I know, it's Freudian. So,
Speaking of Freudian, let's get to that.
No. Please. So, but my point was that on every layer, this movie makes no sense. But the part that really kind of sticks in my craw that I can't wrap my head around is why any of these people wanted to do this. Mm-hmm. Judi Dench is, I think, 80, and Ian McKellen is close to 80 or in his 80s. I don't know why they would have wanted to do this, because they were bad. They couldn't sing or dance or anything. They, we'll come back to it. They sexualized Judi Dench.
I don't mean to be ageist here too, but like there comes like a lot.
I mean, you've already hit racist. Why don't?
We're gonna edit that out.
So go ahead.
But actually, this time, I feel like Judi Dench too. Like she kind of was at the point.
Judi Dench 2?
No, Judi Dench 1.
Judi Dench 1.
Judi Dench 1. Just Judi Dench.
Okay.
Also, Judi Dench was like kind of at the point where her voice was getting a little bit muffled by just like age. Like it just, you know what I mean?
Her
like
throat was close enough. She died 8 minutes after they shot this movie.
No, but you know what I mean? Like as people age, their, you know, like voice clarity and mouth dexterity, lip dexterity, whatever, like it all gets a little worse. And like I just
Are
felt
you thinking of a sarcophagus?
What?
Their lips get tight and pulled back.
Of like embalming.
Really? Why do you go in on Judi Dench? Fuck Judi Dench.
No, I
know what you're trying to say.
I'm saying like it was hard to understand her.
Okay.
And they gave her, as you recall, a 3-minute monologue at the end of the movie.
Yeah. And straight to camera.
I felt she was just breaking that fourth wall real hard. And
the movie was terrible.
It was
fucking horrible.
Felt like
Jessica, this movie is fucking terrible.
I have so much to say about it. Like I'm so passionate.
Judi
Dench is not my issue. I just feel like they should have maybe not cast her.
Hear that, you dumb bitch?
Oh, additionally, they gave her a weird outfit.
She was a cat with a fur coat.
But she wasn't really wearing pants.
No, she wasn't.
And again, like when she first came into the movie, like she had this really confused look on.
She looked like a cowardly lion.
Yeah, she did. And they gave her weird hair and she looked really confused. Like she was kind of like, it was her entrance scene where she was, and she knew exactly where she was fucking going.
Well,
and the fact they made her look like she was like super confused, and it was a very weird choice.
Her character was supposed to be like 900 or 9,000 or something because she kept being reincarnated. So I understand the casting choice because Judi Dench is 400 something years old. So I do get that. As we mentioned, I think she was from the 16th dynasty.
Stop it.
17th dynasty. I think she predates Tutankhamun.
Anyway.
I think it's like 4,500 years old. Yeah, that's why I'm bringing it all back around.
Got it.
That's anyway, back.
Anyway, so that wasn't great. They made Ian McKellen make some weird noises. Like he wasn't
cat noises.
He wasn't but he would also like mumble gibberish a couple times where it's like again like
I think his character was kind of supposed to be kind of senile. Judi Dench was not. Judi Dench was supposedly a god.
Judi Dench's character was not senile.
This fucking movie was crazy.
This
movie was fucking
so
bananas.
Fucking weird. And they made Ian McKellen frantically lick his fake weird paw hands.
This movie started with a bunch of human beings. Again, look at the fucking trailer. As CGI half cat people, like human faces, running. You should watch the movie just to see how they run. Jessica said that they run like Tina Belcher. And they have this awkward, weird, shuffling movement. And my brother pointed out when I sent him the trailer that I had watched like 8 times and he had never seen it. I sent it to him and the first thing he said was, it's weird that they're cat-sized. The movie starts with a human being, if you recall, driving a car.
Throwing a bag.
They're people, but they're cat-sized. Like they stand next to trash cans and they're like a third that tall. So that movie starts like that and spends 2 hours getting progressively weirder. It's the weirdest. And again,
they run movie. Like some of them run like cats on all fours, which if you've ever seen a human do that is weird. Fucking weird. But some of them
turns my stomach.
Yeah, some of them walk with 2 feet.
Yeah, some of them are.
Some of them do halfway.
Seemingly at random.
It's very, and it's like
some of them hunch, kind of like Quasimodo.
And it's like depending on who they are and why they're running, and it's like, this is nonsense. What the fuck?
Yeah.
So that, and again, I would say that the entire movie almost looked like all of the movements were filmed at 2 speed, or like they were filmed normally and then they were sped up twice as fast, or like 1.5 times. So it was just like, this looks natural, but then they would do a movement where it was like almost like a twitch, and it looked like it was sped up too fast, and it was very jarring, and it did not. Like, that took me out of it, where I was like, what the fuck? Did she just like twitch? And it was very weird.
Yeah, it was weird. So,
and they would run almost like too fast, and they would walk too fast, and like they would look at each other, and like they would like, I don't know how to explain like what I'm about to do, but they would like go like this, like hunch over, and then look really quickly from side to side like a cat.
Both of her feet behind her ears right now. Human pretzels. Dude,
I'm just trying to be fucking serious with you, and you just never let me. Anyway, so yeah, it was just very haphazard and
haphazard. We've done this before. Haphazard is nonsense. Hazard.
Whatever. And just why is my question. What did that do for you? What did that do for this fucking movie? Like, you thought you were sly?
Got my dick hard is what it did for me.
So let's talk about the sex.
No. I've been making this point for 20 minutes.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't we can come to the sex next, but I'll come to the sex.
So stop checking the time. I see you.
I'm not checking the time. The phone just lights up. I think someone's texting you.
I'm very popular.
This podcast is blowing up. So
we should just live stream it.
Oh god. No, because then there's no point in doing the time checks. 7:08 p.m., dear listeners. I'm gonna level with you. No point to doing the time checks. Live or not. That's all I have.
What's the point that you were making for 20 minutes?
Is that I don't understand why any of these people did this movie, because with Judi Dench and Ian McKellen, you're at the stage in your career and frankly your life when you can't afford to be making mistakes like this. You don't have that many years left.
Or what?
Or
what else are they doing? Who cares?
What happens if they make this movie and then die and this is the last movie they've made? That would be fucking terrible.
I mean, at that
this
point,
cannot be.
They're not going to care. They're dead.
The bookend to your legacy. I know, but while you're alive, you have to be careful about making
Ian
those decisions.
McKellen was Gandalf?
Yes, and also Magneto in the first 3 X-Men movies.
Yeah. It does seem like he did have...
can't end your career like this.
Yeah.
You're too old to know you're going to have a movie coming afterwards.
Maybe they had an emotional connection to Cats.
Then they should be brought outside and shot in the head.
Okay, very aggressive.
Anyone who has an emotional... Oh, the musical.
No, you.
No. You mean they had a connection to the
yes.
theater? Okay. I thought you meant to this movie.
No, maybe they saw it when they were a kid, or they saw it like...
Well, it came out in the 80s.
Okay, maybe they saw it in the...
Judi Dench is like 4,500 years old.
Regardless. Maybe we saw this... They saw the musical, and it just... They got caught up in the whole thing.
They have to make better decisions than this. They just... So it doesn't...
My issue is with the Taylor Swift.
So it doesn't... They shouldn't be in this movie, but... Sure. Then you talk Taylor Swift, you talk Jennifer Hudson, you talk Jason Derulo. Like the actual...
Rebel Wilson.
Well, Rebel Wilson's in kind of a weird spot that we'll come back to.
Okay.
These people are just singers.
Oh, okay.
Jason Derulo and Jennifer Hudson sang well. They did a good job. But we already know they can sing well.
Yeah.
They're not proving anything by being in this movie. They're not starting a career. They're saying...
Yeah.
It'd be like if Elton John was in this movie.
Again,
it'd be fucking crazy.
I feel like Jennifer Hudson though,
she did a good job,
but she's not very mainstream, and
she's
I feel
extremely mainstream. She's Jennifer Hudson.
I have not heard about Jennifer Hudson in a very long time.
Right, this was not the way back in.
Sure, but it made sense to me why someone like Taylor Swift and Jason Derulo are actively producing music that is very mainstream that I'm hearing about. They're in the news.
I think Jennifer Hudson too is big enough that this was not.
Yeah.
But
she also did a good job in a way that I think no one else in the movie did. Like, she took it very seriously, and I felt like that was the one time in the movie where I was like, oh shit, this is a serious moment and I'm enjoying it for what it is.
Maybe.
Like, I was not thinking about how disgusting the movie was. I was just thinking about... Okay.
I mean, I don't know. It seemed like
again, zooming in on her weird cat face...
It was just... They stood... I think they stood nothing to gain, personally. They could have done a lot of different projects that probably would have...
Definitely, but maybe she wasn't offered anything at that time. I don't know.
No, I can't believe that. I can't believe that this... No. I can't believe that this was dominating the... Stop it. You stop. I can't believe that was the case.
Okay.
I just can't. And then the people who were like Idris Elba was bad. He was just bad. Like, he's an actor who did not do... Like, there's no point for him to be in this movie. There were talks of him being the next James Bond, and then he did this movie. This was a mistake. The people who are no-name actors, I get it. They say, hey, we'll give you $800,000 and you get to be in this fucking movie with Taylor Swift. I'd say, sure, fucking fine, whatever. You have nothing. You got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
But and anyone who had any sort of name recognition.
Yeah. I heard an interview with Taylor Swift where they were like, Taylor literally just wanted to be in this movie because she likes the animal cats.
I think Taylor Swift has a reputation and a persona of, like a public persona of being fairly savvy and fairly open-minded and outspoken. And I think and I'm actually a pretty big fan of her, not so much her more recent music, but I'm a pretty big fan of the stuff that she did after becoming country, before becoming really pop Katy Perry-esque.
I liked her when she was country.
Well, you like country music, but there's a 4 or 5 year window, 1989 and
you were a big fan of Taylor.
Was a big fan of Taylor Swift. Everything I've seen of hers makes me think that her persona of being like, oh, head bitch in charge kind of thing is the product of like $1 billion public relations campaign. And that Taylor Swift, if left to her own devices, very quickly does nothing to acquit herself of a lot of people's opinion that she's an idiot.
Yeah.
She does not seem like she seems a couple of light bulbs short of a tree. So I that doesn't surprise me. But the rest of these people, I don't understand. Like, there's no way all of these people are doing this fucking movie because they like the animal cats.
No, but that's what I'm saying. And even that is just, to me, that was such a weird and unacceptable answer.
Yeah.
And obviously no one else in the world would do a movie because they like the animal that the movie is based off of. That's like not a thing that people do. Yeah, so it was just like a weird...
Maybe she had seen the movie and she's like, I can't think of any reason why I did this fucking movie. Like,
maybe it was like a retroactive kind of...
Who fucking knows? But I'd say and Rebel Wilson came into prominence in Pitch Perfect.
Yes. So
which is like a singing movie. I don't remember her singing in that movie.
I don't either.
But I saw it once 10 years ago.
I don't think I even saw the full movie, but
I might not have either. But
she did sing in it.
I don't remember her singing. But
okay.
Point is, I get that she came into what level of fame she had back then via singing, and then kind of pivoted that into just like a pure comedic thing.
Yeah.
And then came back to this because she's like, oh yeah, I sing, I can do that. She was fucking terrible.
Her song was not great.
Nor was she good.
I think the thing, Rebel Wilson has, if you're just talking about her music style, I'm talking about her acting, but
sure, go ahead.
She has a very specific...
Tear her to shreds, babe.
No, I like Rebel Wilson.
Jessica just lit up a cigar.
Yes, I like Rebel Wilson.
What? It's a brand of cigar.
Oh. Anyway, I like Rebel Wilson, and I think that she has a very specific type of comedy that Cats was not that kind of a movie.
What type of comedy would you call her? Type of comedy?
That's a very good question. She's very, like, quirky in a way that almost, like, makes fun of herself a little bit. Like, she's, like, that movie that she made that was, like, basically, like, a chick flick that made fun of chick flicks. Where she's, like, I'm not the stereotypical heroine, and, like,
that movie was horrible.
You did not like the movie. I thought it was okay.
It's with the other Hemsworth, Liam.
Oh, yeah.
And Adam Devine.
Yes. And he has a very similar, I feel like, comedic, like, vibe that Rebel does, where he kind of also loves to, like, make fun of himself and do kind of a...
We're doing a cross-movie review, listeners.
Anyway.
Taking them all to task.
Anyway, so Rebel Wilson, but I feel like, and she needs something that's a little bit more raunchy, which I don't feel like Cats was.
Well, you want to get into the sexuality?
We'll get there. But I feel like she was way too sexual, or, again, I don't even know if it was Rebel or if it was the director telling her, like, touch yourself here now, but it was just fucking gross. Like, we'll get there. And let's just anyway, Rebel Wilson, I thought did a good job with what she was given, but again, like, your issue with the Rebel Wilson scene was the fact that they fucked up her scaling. Like, her sizing was incorrect.
Yeah, that was weird.
What they did with her and the fucking grasshoppers and the mice.
She ate a cockroach.
Fucking weird. Yeah, she was like a...
Which are people too.
Cannibalizing her pets, which was weird. Although she just ate them.
There were mice and there were children. And I said I would figure that's because I would think the musical, like the stage production, if you want it, you have cats and they're people. If you want to have mice, you have to make them kids.
I
get that.
Sizing. Yeah.
So then they kept them as kids in the movie. And this might not even be true. The movie, the mice might not be kids.
We looked it up and the mice...
I don't remember what
in the musical were not children.
I think your grandmother said she didn't remember the mice being kids.
No, we Googled it.
I'll call that into scrutiny.
We'll double check that, but if it wasn't edited out, then they were kids.
Scream at me.
I'm trying to do like a sly, like, hey guys.
Okay, but then you raised your voice.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
So, and then though they made cockroaches smaller than the mice, obviously.
That were adult women.
Adult human. It was fucking.
Maybe it's because they were like, fuck it, we can't even possibly have people that small.
I don't know.
Like, they would have had to get like a bird.
Right, but then.
That's the size that a cockroach would have been, like a cockatoo.
But then once you realize that, it's not like improv. It's not like they had already started making the movie and they went, oh fuck, cockroaches are smaller than mice. What do we like? They must have. That was one scene.
Yep.
That must have been a decision that would have come up 30 seconds later. Anyway.
And why were all the cockroaches women? It was weird.
Yeah, that was strange. They might have said something about. I don't remember.
It doesn't matter.
Care.
Let's get to the sex.
This movie was the most sexually charged. This was like erotica.
Yeah.
Some of these scenes were like soft core erotica. There was a scene where they were all like 50 fucking cats were dancing in this like weird abandoned. Yeah, for lack of a better term.
That's the only term I can even remotely think of.
Yeah, the cat orgy scene. They were all dancing in this like abandoned hotel or something. In the lobby, and then like a clock struck 12 or so, the moon hit some point, and they're all dancing like on their like tap dancing on their feet and ballroom dancing, all that ballet, and then the clock struck and they all like twitched at the same exact time, all twitched down onto all fours and shoved their asses up in the air, and their tails started twitching and getting erect.
Yep.
Like they were in heat or something, and very, very...
And they were gasping.
Very clear analogs to these human sexuality. Like, the tails would go from being limp to, like, popping up.
Yeah.
And then they would all, like, twitch
and some of them would just
hump the air.
Like, some of them would be touching each other, and then it did come to a point where everything was solo, but then, like, some people were just looking around at each other.
Ugh.
Very weird.
Rebel Wilson, like, licked her own ass.
And she, again, in her scene, like, they had her, like, separate her legs and then start stroking where her vagina would be.
Yep, her furry cat vagina.
Why?
Yeah. Judi Dench did a split, like, the same.
Oh, my God, yeah. They keep having, like, one leg... They're laying down, and they have one leg down on the ground, and then the other leg, top leg, shoots all the way up. So it's just, like a V.
They kick it up in the air and form a right angle.
In a very sexual way, and Judi Dench obviously cannot do that, so it looked very weird and fake. And why the fuck, like, she was watching someone perform on a stage and then did that, which just immediately I'm like, is she doing that because she's aroused by his performance?
This movie was $100 million of mainstream furry porn.
It was just furry porn.
There's also, in addition to being a cockroach
the breathing was so loud, too. Like, the entire time, everyone was just gasping for breath the whole time. God damn it. All right, sorry, the cockroach.
In addition to a cockroach and a mouse, there was also a dog who you didn't see. And I wish we had seen the dog because...
There was a dog?
Yeah, he barked and chased one of the cats off screen, but you didn't get to see the dog, which I found very regrettable. If you're going to make this movie, fucking go. You're already 90% in. This movie was fucking terrible. This movie was horrible. But I can't think of a movie that I've maybe ever seen, if you can see it in theaters at least, that I would more immediately, eagerly recommend someone see.
Oh yeah.
I'd probably recommend that you see it under some form of intoxication.
Everyone should see Cats for sure.
Yeah, I think there are once a decade, maybe once a generation, you get these things that are so embedded in the collective consciousness. I think and sometimes there are things like tragedies like JFK dying or 9/11. Sometimes there are things like Beatlemania. Cats, I feel like
comparing Cats to 9/11
is accurate. I think that's frankly insulting to 9/11. And I think that Cats is not part of the collective conscious in that same way.
Okay.
But ought to be.
Sure. I mean, I did feel like Cats was something that happened to me. That
personally
I didn't want to. So I do feel like it was tragic.
Sure.
And it was thrust upon, like, I did choose to see it, don't get me wrong, but
3 times.
How could you not? You know, it's like, this thing exists and it's so fucking crazy that, like, and again, like, so many really big name people were in it and it was in the mainstream theater. It's like, how was I supposed to not see this? You know?
Yeah.
And then I did see it and I thought, you know, it's not going to be good, but maybe it'll just be a movie with a weird premise. But no, it was something that happened to me that was like, they made me watch that cat orgy scene and I just didn't appreciate it. You're zoning out. Are you still with us?
I don't know what to say about this fucking movie. It's just so... It's bizarre in a way that's not just attributable to it being a terrible, weird movie with no direction. Mm-hmm. It's also just so... on a high concept level, it's so psychologically confounding that it's difficult to give this. That would be like if I said, can you give a movie review to like a thunderstorm? You'd be like, what does that even mean? Or be like, oh, like a genocide, like the Armenian genocide, give that a movie review. You'd be like, what, how, what, no, why would I, how do you do that? It's just difficult. Bad.
Again, I don't know how you keep taking it to
down.
These really dramatic, horrible things, but...
Because Cats was horrible.
Like, I could talk for literally days. Like,
dramatically horrible.
Like, the makeup, the fact that in one scene it would be on, and then in the next scene it would be half off, and then in the next scene it would just be on again, but completely different. Like, and the fact that they're fucking cat hands, some of them...
Yeah, some of them had cat hands with fur, and some of them, like Judi Dench, just had old lady hands.
And they left her wedding ring on. They just... And yeah, they had just
weird.
old lady hands.
Yeah.
It was weird. Like, again, like, I could just... And your favorite, I think, was, like,
Skimbleshanks, the railway cat.
It was a weird scene. And how he gets kidnapped, he just literally, like, floats up into the air.
Yeah, he spins and spins, like in Kung Fu Hustle, and then
he
just disappears.
It was so... And the fact that whenever something happens with Idris Elba...
He makes a cat
He goes,
noise.
meow! Or pow! Or he says his own fucking name as he disappears.
He does.
What was his name?
McCavity.
He goes, McCavity!
Yeah.
And just... It was... But it was so...
It was a bad movie.
It was so... Like...
It was a bad
Who the
movie.
fuck thought these would be good ideas?
Ugh. Someone stupid. I mean, that
just...
would... why don't we end it with this? Would you recommend it?
Absolutely. I would recommend that it needs to be seen and that you need to, like, have it in your brain because I have it in my brain and I want to make people suffer the way I suffered. No, Would you could you put a number on it? Like 1 to 10 or... I don't feel like it was
100?
as bad of a movie as you do, I think. Okay. Like, I wouldn't say it was just outrageously terrible from all angles. Like,
so 1 to 10.
A 3?
A 3, okay. But you'd recommend it?
I would recommend seeing it just for the experience. I would recommend...
Like a roller coaster.
Yeah, like, not taking it seriously, like, seeing it... Like, again, like, I want to see it with my mom and dad and my brother, and I want to just see... Like, I want to watch them watch it. I feel like that, to me, would make it all worth it, but I feel like you should watch it either alone, but preferably not, and, like, with just, like, a group of buds.
I have a feeling that if you watch, like, on your television at home alone, the cats will come out of the...
Yeah.
Like the girl in the ring.
Yeah, maybe watching cats alone is not a good idea,
I think you'll die in 7 days.
Watching cats with, like, a group of buds that also think it's going to be terrible. Like, I think... If one of us had taken it seriously and the other one was like, can you please stop making fun of it? I'm really trying to watch. It would have ruined the whole experience. Like, you need to see it with people that won't ruin that for you.
If you light a candle and say Mr. Mistopheles into the mirror 3 times, he comes out and God knows what.
Anyway. Oh, the other thing about the sexuality was they left the boobs in for the cats, too. Like, they had cats with human breasts. Why?
As opposed to cat breasts?
No, as opposed to having no breast like a cat. You cannot see cat breasts.
Yeah, I mean...
And even, frankly, if you could, like, cats do have nipples.
Yeah.
But for the point of a movie, you should absolutely leave those out. I don't want to see genitals or sexual.
Again, it's these decisions. Someone had to sit down and make these decisions, and it's the hubris. At every single stage, someone was presented with this unwinnable ethical, philosophical quandary.
It's extremely winnable. Just take the tits out.
Well, they never step. You can either do like, oh, it's either anatomically correct to a cat or a person, or we make them flat. Like I don't know how you do that with CGI. Like
they should be. Absolutely can. They remove their ears. Why could they not remove their boobs?
But they replace them with cat ears.
But
they remove them with ears by putting them in
your chest.
like hoods. So again, it's these decisions that none of them seem like good decisions. Like what you're saying is probably the smartest, but you'd be like, what are you doing at that point? Right? Like
I would be like, this is...
My point is this. My point is that someone, the director, the producer of this movie, at like every single stage of this, sat down and was probably faced with these questions every single day, and at no point said, maybe we shouldn't make this movie. Maybe this is...
You're talking about the big picture.
I'm talking about this being a non-zero sum game wherein everyone loses.
Yeah.
And no one said, why do we have to do this?
The Idris Elba scene where, again, they made him so muscular, and they kept his, like, under, like, basically, like, the V for the thighs that point right to the dick, like, they kept those muscles, and they were so pronounced. And again, like, they could have made his hair a little longer, and that wouldn't, they led me right to his dick. And again, like...
And you stayed there.
And I was like, holy, like that, and his butt, too. I was just like, his ass, his thighs, and his dick are all just so in my face. And they were filming him from below. So we were forced to look at him like that. And again, you said his hair, or like, his fur color was a weird choice.
Yeah, it's the same exact color as the skin.
But they didn't do that for anybody else.
Nope.
It was weird.
It was pretty weird.
And his fur was really short. Like, it wasn't even like a cat length hair. It was like a different animal.
Yep.
Like, it was weird.
Yep.
It was like a shaved cat.
Fucking weird.
Yeah.
Like a pit bull.
Yes. Yeah, it was like pit bull length, which that doesn't exist in cats.
I don't know. Look,
his hair was like just really glossy and short, and it was so weird. Like, why was he so shiny?
So you'd give it a 3 out of 10.
Or you're cutting this off. You're saying this podcast.
We could keep going for a long.
I would like
time.
to, but it seems
no one's gonna keep listening to this.
Okay. I'm surprised people would have been listening this far. So
you're proving my point. So 3 out of 10, and you would recommend
3 out of 10 would recommend, but pick your party well.
Yeah, interesting. I can't give it a number. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give it like a jelly bean or something, like a tomato, the color purple. I don't know. So beyond scale of being
getting really passionate about this, you're picking up the phone.
Beyond, I'm not touching the phone. You're right. Theater of the mind. Yes, and
oh my god.
Theater of the mind. I'm picking up the phone and throwing it up to the ceiling. Anyway, yeah, I can't give it a number. It's horrible and historically bad, and I recommend that everyone in the Anglosphere immediately sees this movie, maybe more than once, preferably in some sort of intoxication. And that's that. I'd say that's our first movie podcast. Hopefully our last. I can't imagine doing this again. But there we go.
I don't think we could do this again.
Exactly. See you later, pod racers.